Hey guys, Ryan Strunk Custom Rods here. I'm just finished up with my wrap on the rasor trolling rod, and I was getting ready to start finishing. And I wanted to show y'all how I created my constant power adapter for the G2 power wrapper. All you're going to need is a 5-foot extension cable from Mudhole. Part number is going to be G2-EX cord, C-O-R-D. And then you'll go down to Home Depot and you'll pick up a on-wall wiring switch kit. All it is that comes in that is it's a light switch housing. And what you'll do is you can then have this box where it goes with you wherever you want it to within the length of the extension cord, or like I did with my personal one here, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, I mounted mine straight to the wall next to my power wrapper. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our extension cord, and you got two ends on this extension cord, a male and a female end. Now, if you look over at your power wrapper, the cord coming out of that, you got a male end. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the male end off of our extension cord. What I like to do is take a razor blade, and right where the insulation shrink tube is, I just take a razor blade, lay it flat on there just like you would a rod, and just peel that back. Once you got that peeled back, you can get it and expose your two wires in there. Throw that away. Take a pair of scissors, or if you want, you can cut the heat shrink off the top half of this plug as well. You won't have to peel back quite as much. Got it loose. I can now take my scissors and cut the top half of that shrink tube off. Now, all we're going to do is take our scissors, cut that end off. I'm going to take our razor blade again, and this won't be quite enough wire sticking out here. So we're going to take our razor blade. I'm going to set down the table so I don't accidentally cut myself. Make sure you're always cutting away from you. And I'm just going to split this insulation to get at my wires. So now I've split it. You can grab it and pull out just a little bit more. Because what we're going to do is take our light switch and we're going to come into our box, which will mount together like that. And so you need enough wire to reach both of your contacts. So that should be enough. If you're wanting to know for yourself, I stripped back about 3 inches off of there. Now we're going to take our scissors again, and we're going to cut that loom that we just split. We're left with our two wires. Now we're going to take our razor blade again, and we're just going to strip these wires. I would use wire strippers, but I do not know where mine are at the moment. We're just going to very carefully strip back about an inch on these two wires. Alright. Once you have it stripped, you can carefully work your wires out of there. If you had wire strippers, it would work a lot better. Expose that copper, and then I'm just going to twist it to get it all nice and together. Now I'm going to take my scissors again, snip off the insulation that we just stripped back. Do the same thing with the other wire. Just going to slowly pull that copper wire out of there. being as we're rod builders, probably have a few little tools laying around, like a pick you can use to help coax those wires out. Alright. Do the same thing to this one where we're just going to twist it up. And then snip off that insulation we stripped back. And so then you should be left with your 2 wires, stripped back and twisted together. I don't know how well y'all will be able to see that. But now we can take this and for now set it aside. So now when you buy this box, it comes to where it's supposed to be mounted on the wall. So you can have the wire come out any side you want. You can have it come out the top, either side, or the bottom. And on the inside of the box, you'll see there's these little cutouts, pre-measured. So I figure out what I'm going to use as the bottom of my box, and then the smallest cutout. Grab my razor blade, and very carefully up against the table, just going to cut out that smallest cutout. It's fairly easy to cut with a nice sharp new razor blade. Once you get the side scored, you should be able to just push it in on itself and it'll pop right out. Now what we have is an open bottom on our switch box. I like to take my razor blade at this point, just come in here and clean up these edges so that way there's no sharp edges for that wire to rub against. Do that on the inside and the outside. Trim off the excess of the opening. Okay. And once you're done, you should have an opening just like that. So what we're going to do now is we have our on-off switch, just like what you got on the wall. We're going to take that. We're going to see where it's going to line up in here, which will be right like that. So now, we're going to take our wires we already prepped. We are going to take them, and I don't know if orientation matters on this, because it's just an on-off switch. All it's doing is connecting the circuit between these 2 wires. So, for this video, we're going to say brown on bottom, blue on top. We're just going to create a little U with our wires to go around the screws, like so. And we're going to take them, I'll move the blue out of the way, and all we're going to do is hook that around the bottom of the screw. Now remember, when you hook that around the screw, you grab your screwdriver to tighten that up. You want the U going in the same direction that you're turning. Because if it's not, when you go to tighten it up, it'll actually push your wire out. And we just want to snug that up so it's not going nowhere. Okay? Do the same thing with our blue wire. Have that U. Put it around that switch. Then we're just going to tighten it up. Then when you're done, that is how it should look. Now, we're going to take our cable. We're going to feed it through the front of this box. The switch mounts to the front. And this kit comes with everything you need. So once you get it in there, you want to make sure you have... I make sure to put it to where off is down, on is up. So if anything happens, I can easily knock it down So take the screws that came included with the kit. We're just going to insert them at the top and the bottom of that switch. We're going to tighten them down. Now, you don't have to do it with a hand screwdriver. I do recommend doing the switch part where you connect the wires by hand. But to make things quicker, we're going to use a drill for this next part. And then just make sure your switch is nice and centered. And now that's not going anywhere. And that will look just like that. Now what we're going to do is your wire's coming out through the bottom now. Starting to see where we're going with this. We're going to pull those wires straight up. We're going to take some electrical tape just to add a little bit of extra protection to this. We're just going to build a little bit of a tape arbor on that wire. Just to give it a little bit more cushion. Just hold it to where you can see where it's coming out at. Put your electrical tape on right there. Then flip it up so you have more room. Then just start spinning that right around that wire. And I'm going to do this until it's created a nice snug fit at the bottom of this box. If you want to check yourself, you can always set it down. That looks like it's going to be nice and snug. I'm just going to take my razor blade, very carefully cut this electrical tape. Set it to the side. So that's what we did. And all that's going to do is when we clamp that box on, it's going to keep that wire from rubbing on the inside of that. So now, all we're going to do is if you're going to mount this on the wall, you'll take your back plate, we'll attach it to the wall. Now this one has been modified for this demo, so this won't snap in. But this rear cover does snap on to this box. Once you've put it up on the wall, it'll snap on there just like so. If you don't want to attach it to the wall, just snap it closed. You can carry it with you wherever you're at on your wrapping station. Then the last step of this is going to be to take your faceplate, put it on over your switch, just like so. Put in the supplied screws. They're already painted for you to match, so you get white on white. I did not bring a flathead, but once again, I've got some rod building tools laying around, so we're just going to use our spatula to tighten that down. Now, that's how it looks. If you had it mounted on the wall, it'd just be sitting flush on the wall. All you have to do is flip it on when you're ready to use it, off when you're done. So now let's show you how to use this thing. So, we have our switch right here. We have our G2 power wrapper. We do have a rod in here. Unplug our foot pedal. And all we're going to do is we're going to take that wire we just created, plug it in. Now, put your belt on the wrap side, turn on your power wrapper, and you'll notice nothing happens, right? If I go all the way on the adjustment, nothing's going to happen. So all we have to do now, let's turn this down kind of low. So we're just going to take our switch, flip it on. Now, without having a foot pedal in place, we can turn our power wrapper on and be able to do our power finishing. You can adjust your speed if you're trying to turn something. This one's going to flop all over the place if I try and do that, so I'm just going to shut it off for a second. Move this forward out of here. So now you'll see when I turn this on, starting to turn. So we can go slower if we're going to be finishing under power. Have it spin constantly for us. We don't have to worry about carrying the pedal along with us, putting something heavy down on it, anything like that. Let's say you want to finish your grips. You can turn this thing right up. Get it singing. And all you have to do when you're done, flip your switch, and that's all there is to it. And you can control it from your switch, like I said, or you can always come over here and flip it off there. They both still work. And then when you're done with it, all you got to do when you're ready to go back to wrapping is unplug this end, get your foot pedal, plug your foot pedal back in, and you're good to go. Now, if you bought one of these G2 power wrappers when they first came out, they came with a black foot pedal. And they weren't very great. So they came out with the white pedal. When I made my first one of these, I didn't buy the extension cord. I took that black foot pedal that came with the original power wrapper, and I did use the cord from that. I just cut the pedal off, bought the switch, and it was good to go. Now, this can be used for power finishing, for turning grips, sanding cork, whatever you want it to be for. All it does is it gives you a constant power source to where you don't have to constantly be sitting on the foot pedal feathering it or trying to carry it with you while you got finished and you're trying to go along your rod. If you're interested in learning how to make these, just rewatch the video as many times as you like. Like I said, two things you'll need are the on-wall light switch kit from Home Depot and either the original black pedal that came with your G2 power wrapper, or you can go on Mudhole and order the G2 X cord part, which is just a 5-foot extension cord for your G2 pedal. And if that seems like too much, reach out to me. I will be putting some of these together to sell. I don't know exactly what I would charge for them yet. It'd probably be right around the ballpark of $30 a adapter to be able to turn your G2 into a constant speed. If you have any other questions, leave a comment down below, shoot me an email, follow me on my other social medias. Like and subscribe, make sure to ring the bell to get a notification whenever I upload new videos, and thank you so much.